watch. Milla Jovovich is back on the big screen for the action-packed Protector. A mom with a bit of army experience goes all out to find her kidnapped daughter. This sounds like a better version of the Liam Neeson movie, and Jee-Yun has a preview.
Mila, congratulations. I loved the film. I know you've been in other action films before, but what I loved about your character in this one was that added layer of being a protective mom. And I've always said, never mess with the mom. Did you feel the same way?
For me, being able to take this movie on as a full producer was so special because I got a chance to really be a part of the script writing process, the editing process, the scoring, the color grading. So it was very, very important to me to do the best movie we possibly could. And I put a lot of my heart and soul into it. I think for me also, it was one of your biggest nightmares as a parent, but the fact that, I was able to really get out so much darkness in it in the way that I take care of those bad guys, is kind of every parent's fantasy of what I would do to someone who messed with my kid. And I think that comes out on screen, and it's really action-packed and really fun in that way, but it's got a lot of heart.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. And then I'm so glad you brought up all the other roles that you had, wearing the producer's hat. What was that experience like for you?
It was crazy. I mean, it was nonstop because once the movie's finished, normally as an actor, you kind of move on to the next project. But here it was, just nonstop editing and being able to see how much you can do in post was amazing for me. I loved the fact that, the creative process continued. And even though it was very challenging, to be able to see how music can change a scene, how just re-editing can change a scene, and everything was shot really well. But at the same time, to be able to have that kind of control was incredible. I mean, it's wonderful to be able to take the moments that you love the best from your performance and from other people's performance and really put it together after the fact. I think as an actor, you feel so helpless so much when you make a movie because then it's out of your hands. But to be able to make this movie and still have control of it and be able to really put the moments that affected me the most and that I felt were my best moments was really a liberating experience, and I felt so proactive and it made me feel really good.
I love it. And I think because you're so multi-talented, in music and martial arts and just being in the film world and modeling and all that, I think all that perspective just brought out a really well-rounded film for a large audience. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I loved the ending because I do like a surprise ending, and that completely caught me off guard. How important was it for you to have that twist at the end?
It was really important because it's really what separates this from being just another revenge movie. In the end, it wasn't so much about, yes, the movie's action-packed and it's, kind of edge-of-your-seat action. But at the same time, the real ending wasn't just about killing the bad guy. The real ending is something completely different and something that leaves the theater with a lot of questions. And that's what I wanted to make sure is that it's a movie that makes you talk about things, and it's a movie that makes you want to see it again because you go, oh, now that I know, do we see the signs? Where are the sort of Easter eggs. So I love a movie that leaves you talking about it and asking questions. In the end, we didn't want to tie it up with a big bow and say, okay, this is it. We wanted a movie that made people go out afterwards and really go, wait, but did you notice that moment? Because I feel like that's where we should have seen it coming. I love that about films, the films that leave you seeking questions at the end.
It was phenomenal. I loved it. Congratulations once again. And thank you so much for joining us because I know you're busy with so many projects on the go.
Thank you so much.